You have a long arm.
I do have long arms, you're right. Okay, so here this is a little tight.
The real story should be you guys do one of each other about what it's like to sit outside a courtroom waiting for a verdict.
Well, one nice thing, it's nice weather.
Been fortunate, although today is a little bit
cooler,
not as good as it's been
yeah,
the last
at least
couple.
It's not raining and not cold.
That's the real key.
Yeah.
Okay, I think.
All good? Where do you want me to look?
You can look at us.
At us.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, go for it, Ed.
Tell us what happened here. We understand that the defense asked for a mistrial.
Yeah. Yesterday afternoon at 4 o'clock, the jury sent out a note making an inquiry of the judge as to whether they can consider some material that was provided to them. The attorneys discussed it with the judge this morning, and the judge advised them that no, they are not supposed to be considering this metadata that underlied the testimony of one of the experts on the cell phones. And so what the judge did is the judge, as you may know, ordered the jury, do not consider it. If any of you have read through some of that, do not do so. Consider it in your deliberations, eliminate it, and the court took those exhibits back from them. The defense still felt, though, that it was in the jury room, that it shouldn't have been provided to them, and so they objected and asked for a mistrial, claiming that there was some material sent in that the jury really should not have been considering. The judge denied that, saying no, there's certainly no prejudice by it, and the court did give that instruction, telling the jury just disregard anything in that material. It's a great deal of material. That might be where they've been spending a lot of their time pouring through this minutia of this metadata supporting the phone analysis.
Okay, and so you're saying the metadata of the phone analysis. Can you be like a little more detailed about, are we talking about tracking the phone's geographic location, or?
It is the data that comes out of the cell phone towers that, and it can only be, you and I couldn't read it, have that ability to try and understand it, but it is what the expert relied on. The expert who does understand that and testified to the jury, Aaron Edens, for the prosecution about what exactly it means. But the data itself is not something the average citizen has any familiarity with. That was sent into the jury room by the judge. The judge has now pulled it out and told the jury, you're not going to have it anymore, and if you did look at it, delete it from your memory.
So it was essentially a mistake that they got it to begin with?
No, the judge did it knowingly,
Yeah.
but they were advised that it was only there for the purposes of something that was used by the expert. It wasn't intended that they would delve into it. Once the note came out yesterday and said, yeah, at least one or more of them was delving into it, that's what provoked, okay, let's just pull the data from them so they don't get bogged down in this material. It would be like you and I trying to read something from NASA that we just wouldn't make any sense. But it could lead to confusion and speculation by a person who thinks something means something. And that's why the judge made the right decision to get it out of there.
Yeah, we're in the 10th full day of deliberation. Can you read in anything into that in terms of the time the jury is taking? And also, what is this process like for you and the prosecutor, Mr. Avanto?
Well, for the prosecutor on the case, having been in those shoes many a time, every time the phone rings, you jump because you're wondering, is that the call? But beyond that, you just move on because you can only control that which was within your control. It's not within his control. The fact that it's been 10 days, it would be very meaningful if along the way they had told the judge, we're frustrated. We're fighting with each other, we're deadlocked or something like that. That's never existed. We haven't had even a single indication of that. Indeed, this is the quietest jury I can think of over many, many years on that line. So my guess is they've just been meticulously going through it inch by inch.
And I think you were telling us before, 24 days is the record for a jury in deliberating in this county? Or?
It's the longest since 1953, which is I know how